Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about what to do if you cannot move on from them, if you feel completely stuck and you just can't seem to get over it. You just can't seem to get over the breakup, or it may be someone that's put you in friend zone or someone that you really like, a crush, and you just can't seem to get over them. So what can you do in this kind of situation? So personally, I think one of the best things that you can do to begin with is to get rid of a lot of things that you may do that can basically keep your thoughts thinking about them. So if you spend a lot of time on their social media pages, or if you spend a lot of time over analyzing old messages they've sent you, if you stare at their photos a lot, if you do things like that where you're kind of keeping yourself stuck, and also things like listening to music that reminds you of them, those sort of things, those kinds of things can really keep you stuck and stop you and prevent you basically from moving on. So make sure that you stop doing any kind of habit like that. It might be the case that you might check your phone every time you wake up to see if you've got a message from them, those sorts of things. You really need to cut back on that kind of stuff. If not eliminate it completely, I'd prefer it if you eliminated all those kinds of habits completely. Checking the last time they looked at your story, or you could want checking your page to see if they've added you or if they've put a like on something. You need to really let go of that kind of stuff, because that is keeping you stuck and it's preventing you from moving on. Because if you're thinking about them a lot, then yeah, I can see why you're not moving on from them, because you just keep on thinking about them. So you need to find ways that you can stop thinking about them. Now, of course, you're not going to just get amnesia and just forget about them completely. Like, you're not going to forget about these people that have had a huge impact on your life. But if you keep on thinking about them obsessively, that's one of the reasons why you're not moving on, because you just keep on thinking about them. Now, of course, I want you to get to the place where, a certain song may come on the radio and that will be the thing that just reminds you, something small. Because I have that. I have songs about exes and things like that. If they play on the radio, it takes me back to that time. It's kind of like a little trigger, shall we say. So you're always going to remember them. You're not going to, one day, you might just be out and about and you may see someone who looks like them, and that will remind you, so you're not going to forget about them completely, but you need to be at this place where you're not so emotional about it. And if you're watching a video like this, then you're probably in a place where you're still very emotional about it. And I can completely understand the way that you feel. I've totally been there in my life many times where I've had this kind of like obsessive thinking where I just can't seem to get past someone. Like, I've totally been there before. But working on things that are important to you really helps. Finding projects, doing things that are healthy as well, like exercising, that really helps. It may be the case if you're really, really, really in trouble and you feel like you're thinking about them way too much, then you may need to seek a therapist or something like that to help you get past it. But working on projects that really matter to you, focusing on your work, those kinds of things really, really do help. Having something basically outside of yourself that is bigger than you, basically. So like a project, like I personally see this channel on my personal development channel as that kind of work for me, like a bigger purpose where I get to reach, a lot of people and help them with, these sorts of issues and other kinds of issues as well. And, that really helps me. That makes me feel good, because I feel like I'm making a difference, even if the difference is just something small. Like the person who's watching this video, like most of the people that watch this video probably won't be very impacted by it, but there may be just one who is impacted by it, and that will make, the video worth it, in my opinion. So, you gotta find things like that can probably really help you. One of the ways that you can do that, if you don't really want to start a YouTube channel or something like that, or a business, or you start a blog or something, and you don't want to help people in that way, like one way that you can do it is by helping others by volunteering, finding some time, it may be just an hour a week that you can spare. That way you can help at a homeless shelter, or help the elderly or something. Just find something that's bigger than you, and it takes you out of this self-centered place that often we find ourselves in way too often than what we would like to admit. So doing something for other people and being kind and generous, that's a way that it can help you feel a lot better. And give you a life a bit more meaning, a lot more purpose. Because if you're thinking about this person a lot and you can't get past them, then you can't move on from them, then they're probably taking up a lot of your headspace time. You're probably thinking about them loads. It may be the case that they're your most prominent thought. And if that's the case, then you really do need to, get yourself basically out of your head and into some kind of project or helping people, something bigger than you that brings a lot of meaning to you. I highly recommend that you watch this video on the importance of walking away from someone that no longer loves you. So obviously another big one, another huge one that can help, although I don't condone it if you've just recently got out of a relationship, but when you start dating again and start dating someone new, and start putting basically your romantic interest on other people, other than this person that you can't move on from, because that's one of the best ways that you can get over someone, is to find someone new, and start dating someone new. But of course, it's important that, especially if you've been in love with this person for a long time, that you take time to heal from it. You take time to really think about it and really, learn from the mistakes that you may have made, learn basically what you like from that relationship and what you didn't like, so you can take those best bits basically and try and find it in the new person without all the negatives that may have been there. Getting really clear on that. And one of the best ways I personally think that you can do this is by writing it down. So basically you write down what happened in the relationship, especially those big key moments that you may be replaying in your head. And basically that's how you need to kind of work through that kind of stuff, if it's like memories that just keep on repeating themselves in your head. So you write it down. And also write it in a way that's just for you, because most of the time when people write down stuff, especially like big events, they write it in a way that they are intending someone else to read it, like they're like as if someone's going to find it basically. So don't write it with the intention of someone else may read it. Just write it down exactly for you. And if there's some things in there you find embarrassing, then you don't have to keep it. You can destroy it, you can burn it, you can flush it down the toilet. If you write it on your computer, you can delete it and throw away the trash bin on your PC or whatever it is that you have. You can do these things, right? But just write it down. Write down a true account of what happened, and don't write it with the intention that someone else may read it. Just write it down for you and make it true, make it concrete, and be concise with it and be accurate with it, and don't hide away from it, right? If there's some things that you did that were embarrassing, you write it down. Just write it down, because if you write it down, it's going to help you work through it in your head. And asking yourself things like, what did this teach me? And what did this make me learn about people, about relationships? What did this open my eyes to? And basically, why will I do this again, or why am I not going to do this again? Writing those kinds of questions down for it can really, really benefit you and can really, really help you work through it. One of the things that really helped me get over a past relationship, and this is just a tool that you can find on YouTube. There's a guy who does like hypnotherapy and meditations called Michael Seeley, and basically he has a meditation or a hypnosis, something basically, and it's about like letting go of relationships. And I had a really powerful experience. This was ages ago. It's probably about 6 years ago, where I watched that video. I meditated to it. And it was a really, really powerful experience. And afterwards, I felt so much better. Now, it may not have the same effect on you as it did on me. I think one of the reasons why it affected me so much was because I didn't fall asleep during that meditation, because sometimes that can happen when I listen to meditations. I sometimes just fall asleep because I get so relaxed. But I was fully awake throughout the whole thing. I was fully conscious. Obviously, I had my eyes closed, but I did exactly what Michael said in this like meditation. And it was really, really beneficial for me to get past that relationship. And it was really, really good. I loved it. And I've never quite had the same experience with a meditation since, actually. That's how powerful it was for me. So I highly recommend that you go and meditate to that hypnosis. So obviously it's really important that you do things that are good for you. So exercise, doing things that aren't basically burning the candle at both ends, because that's what a lot of people do when they get really emotional about breakups and people that have rejected them. They go on like a binge, where they binge eat or binge drink, basically do things that aren't good for them, and they end up feeling even worse about themselves. So try not to do that, basically. Try and do things that are good for you, that are nourishing for you. That's a good thing to ask yourself actually before you do something. Like, is this going to nourish me in some way? Like, it might be nourishing you intellectually if you're reading a book, or listening to an educational video. That's something that's nourishing. Obviously, nourishing food, when you eat, like, is this going to nourish me, or is this going to make me feel sluggish and bad about myself? Always ask yourself that thing. Ask yourself those kinds of questions when you're about to do something. Obviously, things like exercise, that helps you, that nourishes you in a way. Doing those things that are good for you, not the things that are bad for you, that are going to be burning the candle at both ends. Because you're already going through some stuff, right? You're already going through some emotional turmoil if you're finding it really difficult to let go of someone. So you got to have other areas of your life that are doing good things for you, so you're not burning the candle at both ends. So if you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.